Warning, this content is for adults only and anyone 18 years of age and older. Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Anything that I say in this video is my opinion and my opinion alone, as well as speculations, theories, and assumptions. Anyone and everyone is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. This little guy that you see here on your screen, his name is Hershall Creachbaum. And I think in the last video I said that he was 7 years of age. No, he's actually 8 years old. And it saddens me to say that yesterday his remains were found, and it is alleged that his mother's boyfriend, and I use the term mother very loosely, that his mother's boyfriend is the suspect that is alleged to have been the cause of his death. Now, I saw somewhere that both of these children are special needs, because Hershall, he used a wheelchair, but he could walk maybe 10 or so steps, and he was autistic and he has cerebral palsy. And for a child that age, it is very difficult to do things, and especially learning things like picking up things with their hands and, things of that nature. And it is said that Hershall was nonverbal, so whatever he was feeling or seeing or hearing, he could not speak to say that he was feeling those things or being treated a certain way. I don't have the clear details of what I'm about to say next, because when I was reading all of this information, I actually had a bit of a meltdown and started to cry about this. And I try not to get involved in these cases, but it is really hard to do so because I have a big heart. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It is alleged that the mother's boyfriend took Hershall, put him in the shower for whatever reason, I guess to try to clean him up. And he unfortunately, allegedly left him there to pass away. And before this, the boyfriend, this piece of crap, decided that since he got into a fight or argument with someone on the phone, that he was going to take his anger out on poor little Hershall. And he decided to punch Hershall in the head several times. Now, I don't see why you would even do that to a child, especially a defenseless child who can't verbalize anything, let alone to say how he's feeling or say that, hey, this is hurting me or what have you. But I doubt that if he could even speak, he probably would have did the same thing or kept doing it. And I just don't understand why the mother, did not call at least the aunt or somebody and say, hey, I'm about to go into the hospital, or I am in the hospital. Can you go and get Hershall just until I can get out of the hospital? Because the grandmother, unfortunately, she had a car accident and she was in rehab. So that's why she couldn't do anything about it. But the grandmother also states that the sister, when they got to her in the house, that she unfortunately smelled like urine and that her hair was matted. Now, I'll put all of these links to these news articles and videos that I see down in the description box below. But the grandmother did say that, and then I think it was the aunt that also said that when they were around, this piece of crap, the mother's boyfriend, would act so loving towards the kids. He would give Hershall a video game controller that didn't work so that he could feel like he was playing the game, and he would he would give it to him, and he would be pressing the buttons and everything. And they said that the man that they know would not do this to Hershall or any of these kids, but I think they should at least take a second to look everywhere that this piece of crap has lived, and how many of his girlfriends or whatever had kids, and if any of those kids were abused or went missing, or just look in the areas that he's lived in and see if any kids at all went missing, and see what they can tie to him, because maybe he's done this before. Because for some reason, to me, it does not feel like this is his first victim. Maybe it's his first victim that he's taking their life, but I do not feel like this is his first victim that he's done something similar to, and maybe they survived and were able to tell who he was. And from my understanding, this man has a rap sheet as long as probably my whole body. And some of those charges, if not most of them, are DV, domestic violence, and maybe some children, like cruelty to children's charges, things of that nature. But they need to check out everywhere that he's lived, every girlfriend that he's had, and if they had any kids, they need to kind of, look them over, and maybe if some of them are old enough, talk to them as well, because I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if this is not his first time doing something like this or similar to this. Now, I was so upset when I was listening or reading this case and doing research and listening to the videos, that I said that, that is evil, that the mother and the boyfriend could do something like this. And I feel like if the punishment were to match the crime in certain situations, a lot of this would stop, because I feel like for them, their punishment should be exactly what happened to him. But then I changed my mind and I said, no, I would rather they get a couple of people, I don't care who these people are, and lock these two in a room, separate from each other, not together. Cut the cameras off and let those people do what they're going to do, and not charge them for anything, and don't charge them for anything that happens in the room, no matter the condition that they are in when those people leave that room. And I said, as far as myself, I just need a promise that I will not be charged for whatever happens to those people when I leave that room, and the condition of them when I leave that room. I would like just 10 minutes, and maybe a baseball bat, and turn the cameras off, and just let me go. I would like just 10 minutes with each of them. That's it. Just 10 minutes. This part of it really just did it for me. When I heard that they had this poor child's body in a freezer for weeks while they were going about their regular day, living their life, this poor child was in a freezer for weeks. And reportedly, he had been dead since like May. And that was what, the mother was able to tell them. But the piece of crap that she was dating, he decided that he was going to do whatever he did with Hershall. When he took him out of the shower, which allegedly was, he took him and put him near some railroad tracks, and then he went back later and recovered the remains, and then he put them where the police found them yesterday. But before all of that happened, this poor boy was in a freezer for weeks. And that just broke my heart, and it made me cry, honestly. I mean, I literally cried like a baby, because I try so hard to like not get attached to these cases or not, put my heart into it, but it's hard because I have a soft spot for my in my heart for children just in general. And to see a child, with special needs is extra hard for me. So that was even more of a, pain for me not to put my heart into this, because this young man, not only was he autistic, but he had cerebral palsy. And as I've said several times, I also have cerebral palsy, but I'm fortunate enough to be able to live independently and do things on my own for myself. But he could not. He couldn't even talk. So he was basically defenseless. Now, I don't have any proof of this, so this is alleged, but when I look at the boyfriend and the mom, to me, they look like they could possibly be addicts as well as alcoholics. But yet again, like I said, this is allegedly, so I don't really know. But knowing that I have been around people who are addicts and alcoholics, I can kind of tell when there is a look, and they both have the look, if anyone knows what I mean. Because alcoholics, they have a certain look, as well as addicts, they have a certain look. And I believe that they are alcoholics as well as addicts, especially the boyfriend. And what irked me too about this case is that this piece of crap tried to pin the missing of Hershall on, I believe he said a black person or two black people, but he tried to pin it on someone that is black. Now, how low, and in my opinion, allegedly, you know, I'm not going to say the word, but how that word do you have to be to pin that on a black person? You could have just said anybody. You could have said, somebody that was Caucasian or somebody that was whatever. But you try to pin that on a black or a brown person. That is very, that word that I'm not going to use here because I don't know how YouTube feels about that word. But how that do you have to be to pin that on a black person again? Just like I just said. And I think maybe he is a little bit of that. And I wonder how close was, the sister as well as Hershall starving to death, like the grandmother, the grandmother said in the beginning, that Hershall and his sister, when they located the sister inside the home, her hair was matted and she smelled like urine and she was basically starving to death. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Now, I have said before that I believe that just because you can have children does not mean that you should. And this mother is a prime example of that. Just because you can reproduce or have children does not mean that you should. Because if she was any kind of mother worth anything on this earth, she would have told her sister or the aunt or somebody in the family and said, hey, I'm in the hospital for whatever reason, and my mother, the grandmother, is in the hospital because she was in a car accident. Can you go get Hershall and my daughter and care for them just until I can get out of the hospital? And I'm pretty sure they would have done that. I actually saw a video. It was actually the same news clip where the grandmother said that she saw the daughter and her hair was matted and she smelled like urine. It was the same clip where the aunt said she does not know why the mother didn't ask them, any one of them, to go and get them. And she said they would have been glad to take care of Hershall and his sister. So that just makes my skin crawl to think that this mother left her children in the care of this piece of crap. And this is the end result of what happened. But if there's any more news to come on this case and any new charges for either of them, I will update you guys and let you know everything that's going on as soon as I find out. But unfortunately, guys, that brings me to the end of today's video. If you liked today's video, please leave a thumbs up. It helps out more than you know. And please leave a comment down in the comment section below. It can be of cases that you would like for me to cover or cases that you think might be interesting, but you can leave them down in the comment section below. And please, if you are not subscribed before you leave, please make sure that you subscribe because it also helps the channel out more than you know. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.